A franchise that is nearly 2 decades old continues to be a major force in the gaming world. Developed by a studio that is nearly 3 decades old, the collection of immensely talented individuals is set to deliver an outstanding gaming experience yet again. Not many studios out there can do what DICE do with the now legendary gaming series, Battlefield. But don't mistake the last iteration for just another sequel in the Battlefield series. After its last 2 titles that tackled the art of warfare in historic settings, Battlefield is finally going back to its strengths, and that is the more modern setting or a near future one. This is where Battlefield truly shines, bestowing upon its fans an arsenal of weaponry in relatable settings combined with a sandbox that captures the frantic nature of war whilst removing its grim realities. Brace yourselves for an experience filled with unmatched destruction, a grand scale, player freedom, incredible gunplay, vehicular combat, and epic moments. So what is Battlefield 2042 doing that is so special and has so many players hyped? Well, perhaps the biggest change to the franchise is that of scale. On the next gen console versions and PC, you get a massive 128 players in a game, 64 on each team. This is double the number you got in previous games and double what you will get on last gen consoles. Take a look at the size comparisons between the 7 maps that feature in Battlefield 2042 with previous games. This will no doubt have a huge impact on the gameplay and will make battles feel more like all-out war than ever before. But DICE haven't just upped the player numbers and left it at that. Take the Conquest mode for example, which is the core game mode in Battlefield. DICE have introduced a new system called clusters, and this has supposedly been woven into the level design. Essentially what this means is, you have massive battlefields or maps, but within each battlefield there are multiple conflict zones or clusters. For instance, on the Hourglass map, there's a stadium, and in that stadium there are multiple capture zones. To dominate the entirety of the stadium, you have to capture all the zones. Once you capture a conflict zone, you will then need to travel to another conflict zone. How do you do this? You get out your call-in tablet and then request a transport vehicle, which then drops in a vehicle of your choice. As you travel across these traversal areas, expect a lot of vehicular combat to take place here as you cross paths with the enemy team. It's a great idea that will hopefully take advantage of the huge sizes of these maps and the increased player count, whilst also serving to enhance the thrills of virtual warfare. A big change has been made to the player classes in that player classes as they used to be have been removed. Previously you had the following classes: Assault, Engineer, Recon and Support. A lot of players would pick their classes because of their primary weapons and not because they wanted to play those class roles. This has completely changed. Battlefield 2042 now introduces Specialists, and these are the named characters a lot like what you saw in the likes of Rainbow Six Siege. What were once regarded as classes now operate more like categories, and within those categories are these specialists that play their own type of role. The specialist can pick any weapon of choice, but each specialist has its own special ability and passive trait. Take Fork for instance, who falls under the support category. She can heal and revive allies at a distance. Her special ability is called Combat Surgeon, which means if she revives you, you are revived with full health. She's the only character that has the ability to do so, and if another character with a revive ability does this, they won't bring you back to full health. Players will have an open array of gadgets and weaponry available to them per character. This removes the problem you would have had in older games, where for instance, you played a medic role for example and you came across some vehicles but were really under-equipped to deal any damage to them. Now you can pick weapons and gadgets to tweak your setup to be more effective against vehicles. It remains to be seen how this all plays out in practice, but the concept sounds promising. Only 4 specialists have been revealed so far, but there are stated to be 10 at launch, with more being introduced in the 4 seasons after launch. One of the trademarks of the Battlefield experience is its destruction. The Battlefield series always had impressive physics and destruction, giving the players the ability to topple buildings or tear down substructures in the game. This adds a level of dynamism that very few games out there enjoy. Expect this to be enhanced more so than ever before, although a big part of me does regret that this is not a next-gen only title, because if the power of next-gen consoles were fully utilized, the CPUs in these machines could do so much more than what we'll probably get with Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 2042, however, adds the proverbial bull in the china shop with what it calls events. These catastrophic natural hazards like tornadoes and sandstorms, exaggerated to the max, really catalyze all the destructive capabilities of the impressive Frostbite engine. This will add a layer of unpredictability that could really be a fun addition to the Battlefield sandbox, whilst also enhancing the already jaw-dropping visual fidelity of the game. I mean, just look at how cool all of this looks. DICE have not revealed all their cards though. We have only seen one set of pre-alpha gameplay, so theoretically the final game should look even better than what we've seen. We have yet to see the specifics of the maps, the weapon additions, and crucially the vehicular support. I particularly am really hyped about how aerial combat is enhanced in Battlefield 2042. We have already had a glimpse at some really promising looking additions like the grappling hook or the plus menu, which lets you switch weapon attachments on the fly. I think, if executed properly, this little mechanic could become really popular and set a trend for others to follow by removing the laborious task of changing these attachments in menus. There's a new mode called Hazard Zone that DICE is oddly being very tight-lipped about. Reps at DICE are very quick to state that this is not a battle royale mode, but it seems that it is a mode that taps into that kind of high-stakes ethos based on what's been said so far. Subtle hints have also been given that the game mode really relies on squad composition, namely the makeup of your squad and the specialists within them. Apparently that's really crucially important to this game mode, but we'll see. All in all, Battlefield 2042 is looking mighty impressive, even from the brief early glimpses we have seen. Let's hope the game doesn't suffer from the early troubles of Battlefield 4 and has a smooth launch. We have yet to have confirmation that the game has cross-platform support, something that I think is crucial for a game like this, especially with 128 players in a game. All signs point to the definitive Battlefield experience coming our way, but watch this space and our coverage for the game. Let me know what you think about Battlefield 2042 and whether you believe this could be the best Battlefield game yet. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.